Hello all, Namaskar. Today is a very beautiful day for all of us. We have with us Azeez Sir or Azeez Bhai, we can say. He was alumnus of my college as well, and I am his junior, so I am privileged to call him Bhai. But he is Azeez Sir, rank 24, uh, probationer in Indian Forest Services, and he is currently in IGNFA, Indira Gandhi National Forest Academy, which is the dream place for every forest enthusiast. So he is over there, and he has given his gracious time to all of us. And he had expressed his desire also to guide everyone who is giving the forest services exam this year. So basically, this session will be a chit chat with Aziz Bhai, Aziz sir, and we will discuss, sir. Today we will discuss something about how do you feel in IGNFA and how has been your journey throughout. And after that, we will go through what all strategies that you can give to the aspirants. And then we will ask something about how do you motivate yourself and all those things. We will start about that. So, Namaskar, sir. Welcome. And I hope you are really good in health and spirits. How are you, sir? How is Dehradun?
Good evening, Durga. It's wonderful talking to you. Thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure meeting you, talking to you. You are such a wonderful soul. And thank you for taking this initiative. I'm sure, many Forest Service aspirants, must be appreciative of the steps you're taking. And yeah, it's a pleasure. I feel I'm privileged to be here in IGNFA. It was my dream. Because I was always interested in forest services, and it feels really good to be finally here.
And and really beautiful. And as I have the opportunity today, let me show to the students about to the students or the aspirants the person you are. What I felt about you. This was something that I've always felt. Basically, my interaction with Ajit sir started from Mains 2020. In fact, during writing Mains 2020, he was in the interview that we have between the GS papers. So one day I was meditating and he was sitting next to me, and we started off a conversation. And I came to know that he is also from my college as such. And that was the very first impression. And the first impression lasts till the last. And he had given me a chocolate by then that Durga, you can have it before your mail. So I feel that chocolate played a very important role in shaping our what you say relation. And in fact, he is such a wonderful soul, such a beautiful soul. Sir, many times, many of the aspirants asked me, sir, that Durga ji or Adhikari ji, you haven't changed since the declaration of results. We have seen many, what you say, many selected candidates. Their behavior changes. They don't remain so humble. So I don't know whether I'm humble or not, but if they mean it the way that you don't change even after your result and you maintain your originality, there is a lot of contribution of you, sir. Because somewhere
Correct.
I must tell to the students, the aspirants as such, it was a very chilly day, and I had went to IGNFA to meet sir, and it was very chilly day, and he had to wake up very early in the morning, and it was very late night. You wouldn't believe a person of such beautiful soul. He came by his bike in the very chilly night, and the Dehradun, when it drenches in the rain, it is very chilly. He came to leave me at the bus stand at the very late night when he had to wake up the next morning. In fact, when I was not also selected, I had asked him, sir, can we meet when I had come to Dehradun? You would not believe he came all the way with his bike from IGNFA to what you say, the ISBT, to meet a person who wasn't having any credibility at that point of time. So somewhere I have felt, sir, you have inspired a lot, and whenever I've talked with you, I have gained a lot, the wisdom and all those parts. And in fact, I feel very fortunate to have known you in the mains also. That's why I feel that mains 2020 wasn't something of my game, but along with experience, I had the opportunity to know you. This is something that was very what do you say, very fortunate of me. So basically, sir, today a lot of students were giving IFoS mains this time. They have some set of queries. I have noted down some, and we will discuss. And if possible, someday we will have another live session with the students so that you can address all their queries. Sure,
Yeah,
sir.
definitely, yes.
So shall we start, sir?
Yes, 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 please.
So before that, I just want to ask you one question that even before joining IGNFA, you must have some thought about IFoS, and in fact, it is not IFoS now; it is said IFS, IFS. And now that you are inside the what you say the room, how do you feel? How has your perception changed? And what are all the things that you want to share with the students who are aspiring for IFoS?
Uh, my perception about IFS has changed uh, significantly when compared to what it was when I joined the preparation phase and what it is now. My father was a forest ranger for a significant period of his life, and he retired as the DFO. So he always used to talk highly about IFS officers. That they are such wonderful people. They are so nice, and it's a great job. So I always had this inkling toward forest service, and somewhere in the back of my mind, it was always there. Okay, let me try. Let me try to if our fathers are always our idol, and if they talk highly about some job, you start feeling okay. Seems like a very nice job. So uh, why not try for it? So I was always had this inclination towards forest service, and that was the reason why one of the reasons why I took zoology as my optional both in civils and forest, so that I could appear in both. And that was the reason why I put in so much effort towards the prelims examination, because uh, the prelims cutoff is really high for forest services, and it's really tough, and half the job is done if you clear forest cutoff prelims. So I must really congratulate all those aspirants who have cleared forest prelims this time and who are appearing in the mains examination. That it's half the job, and it's just one other half left. And I really wish that you get through the process and become a member of this wonderful All India service.
Uh, Sir, since that you have said that you have prepared a lot about the prelims and all, definitely we will like to rope in your wisdom, maybe at a later point of time to guide about the prelims and all, because I have seen what I have seen and what others are feeling also. The prelims is becoming a now a really gamble. The gamble would not be the correct word, but it is something like a cat and mouse game. So it's
Mm-hmm.
dependent. So we definitely want your wisdom on that, maybe at a later stage. But it's really wonderful. So there is another question that I wanted to ask. So now that you are in IGNFA, so how is IGNFA when you had thought about it and now when you are here? So you must have had a lot of wonderful friends over there, bonhomie among all of them. So how do you feel about it? And then we will directly jump into the strategy part.
IGNFA is, I think, it's one of the best academies to get trained actually, because this FRI campus is like, it's like a small, you feel like a glimpse of heaven here. It's a forested area, and the microclimate is amazing. Even at the peak of summer, you have cool evenings, and the temperature remains 2 to 3 degrees Celsius compared to the remaining parts of the Dehradun city. So the campus is like beautiful. I must recommend everyone to please visit it once in your lifetime. Even those who are interested in forest service, who clear the service or not, please do visit. It's amazing campus. I mean, I haven't seen any campus like this. And IGNFA has great infrastructure. Apart from education and training, they provide a holistic training. They give equal emphasis on physical aspect. And they have this games infrastructure is like amazing. We have here lawn tennis court and badminton court. I mean, state of art courts, amazing infrastructure. And the exposure is also very nice. I mean, they call very eminent personalities in a regular interval, so that we get good exposure before we start working in the field. So, and the people here, the my batchmates, they are I mean, amazing people. Everyone has a unique talent of their own. Someone is, a good sports person. Someone is great at quiz. Someone is great at debates, and someone has great oratory skills, and someone has wonderful painting skills. As in, there is so much to learn from each of my batchmates, and I always try. As of now, my back of my head, I keep this thought is running that what can I learn from this batchmate, and they're all amazing people. We are like a small family here, and it's overall it's a great experience, and I hope at least some of you would be able to enjoy it in future.
Definitely, sir. Because when I had visited the IGNFA also, I must say this is an institute that is beyond every grandeur, and
Hmm.
it's something like living in the lap of the nature.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
and regarding the batchmates part that you have said, in fact, I have when I had interacted with some of your batchmates with you, the best thing about Aziz sir, about every batchmate or almost every batchmate had said that he is such a wonderful person that everyone has a very good relationship with him, and that is so unique of him. Because I remember that one of your batchmates had said that there is no one in the campus who would say that Aziz is what you say, not friendly. He is something. He is someone who has forged friendship with everyone. I think apart from all other wonderful qualities, this is one of the very beautiful qualities that you have. This this warmth of the relationship I have felt with you also. So as a sister, as a relation of elder brother. So, sir, let us come to the strategy now, because the
Hmm.
students must be waiting for. So, let us start from uh, the papers. So, we have the general English and general knowledge paper. So,
Hmm.
basically, they are the papers apart from the optionals. So, how
Yes.
to read these papers and what is their importance? Because many times I've heard students in their endeavor to chase over optional, which is like unending ocean. Many times they tend to neglect general English and general knowledge, which has a lot of time
Yes.
getting marks. So, how do you rate it, and what is the importance that you would give?
Uh, First, let me come to English. It's a highly scoring subject,
Yes,
and I mean, with little effort, you can have wonderful result. The benefits are too high. I mean, compared to the effort you put in for English. So one should not neglect this paper. It's not like you have to study for days together. Only 3-4 days of good reading of English will fetch you really nice marks. I would suggest the grammar part first. The grammar part, it's comparatively easy, and one should prepare the grammar part well, because it is highly mark fetching, and the questions are easier, and you can finish it within 15-20 minutes. Everyone has a different strategy, but I used to prepare grammar. I used to attempt grammar first, so that I have time at hand for other bigger questions like precise writing and essay. And one more thing I would like to say, that this is an English paper.
yes,
Writing good grammar and using good words, preferably, will fetch higher marks. For example, there is a 1,000 words essay in this paper, and it is slightly different from the kind of essay we write in civils, because that is a that is a civils paper. That is an essay paper of civils, and this is a essay of English, general English paper. So one should focus less on the facts and technical things, and more on writing good English. Throughout the paper, write good English, use some good words if possible, be grammatically correct. You are penalized less for being grammatically wrong in civils paper, but in general English paper, it is important to be grammatically correct. It's a We should always keep in mind, it's a general English paper. They are testing your English knowledge. that whether you have good hold on English or not, the language or not. So treat it accordingly. And second thing is the division of time, because there are we are not much concerned about general English, which is there in civils. It's a qualifying paper, but here the marks count. And so we should prepare the grammar portion well. And coming to reading comprehension, it's quite easy. Just write good English. And so next is your letter and report writing. Follow a standard format. Yes, one more thing, UPSC plays in forest, at least plays with this number of pages they give. Sometimes in letter paper, letter part, the write a letter, they give only one page and sometimes two pages. So before writing the letter, check if they have given two pages or one page. If they have given, what it will help is, it will if they have given one page, you have to finish the whole letter in one page. So you write accordingly. Otherwise, what happens is, if you assume it is two pages and you do not have the space to complete the essay. So before writing, I think so just take care of this the space wala thing. How much space is given for each question. And regarding the essay part, I always keep it for the last, and at least 1 hour. And yeah, and I focus more on writing good English. These dimensions and all, yes, they also have to be covered here also. But apart from those things, just write good English. That will fetch you really good marks. And don't neglect the grammar part, because grammar hardly, hardly, if you go through previous 4 5 years questions of those grammars, you will see it's quite easy. And you can, out of 50, you can easily score above 45 if you have put in good effort, and that will give an edge. So this is general thing about English which I want to say. And next, coming to general knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Now, notice the difference that it's general knowledge and not, general studies of civils. So, in one paper, you have all the sections. Like, you have history, you have polity, you have economics. In single paper, the entire general studies, everything is covered. So there are some differences with between the general studies and this general knowledge. First is the first coming to history, which the questions are at the beginning. So in this, the medieval period is also asked. There are 2 3 areas which are favorite of UPSC in this general knowledge paper. First is Ashoka. Second is Akbar. Third is Bhakti and Sufi movements. So these are the things which are different from the papers of the GS1 of civils. So prepare these things well. And there is one book, and I have written, like, in all the years, I have noticed that this from this one book, you can attempt the questions of GK history part very well. And that is Tamil Nadu Board 11th class. It covers your medieval and ancient period of history. And if you give a thorough reading of this book, it will really help you in answering those uh, GK in history part, the ancient and the medieval. Because the administrative system of Mughal period, of Ashoka period, and the social, these things which are usually asked, they are given in a concise and very briefly, and whatever is required for this paper. So this is one thing. Next thing is, there is no social society wala portion in this. So no need to study that. If you have studied well for civils, then this in polity economics, you do not have to worry. The civils knowledge what you have gained will help you. There is one more area which I would like to highlight where you can have have edge is science and technology, which has good amount of weightage, and they ask very weird and unexpected questions related to science and technology. So for that, I would like you to emphasize more on the science mains 365, which is mains 365 of science and technology. Read it thoroughly. If you do not have time, just give that portion a thorough reading. Just that. Otherwise, your civils, whatever you have prepared for civils or any other examination, will help. But for science and technology, just put in more extra effort. Read those things, and it will give you an edge. So these are the two areas: one, history, 11th class Tamil Nadu board; second, science and technology. These are the two areas where you have to put in more effort. Other areas you can manage, I believe. And space, that space thing in which is given in each question. So as far as I remember, there are 2 pages for both. In at least in the year I attempted, there were 2 pages for both, uh, 10 markers and 15 marker, but the word limit is 125 and 200. So I assume that in one page I can write 100 words. So what I used to just it's hard to calculate each and everything how much you write. So just you have to make a guess, approximation. What I used to do was I just, for 10 markers, I used to write one full page and just the concluding part on the next page. So what happens is that it'll approximately come 100 words plus 25 words in those conclusions. So it'll have that is what I had thought. And second is for 200 marks, I used to write full 2 pages. So the time is of utmost essence. If there is one paper where you're most likely to, two papers actually, where you're most likely to have face shortage of time, is first English and second is GK. Because so that is why I strongly suggest you divide your time accordingly. Because in English also, we do not know how much time each portion will take, because we haven't prepared for that. So at least have some basic idea about how much time you'll take for each of answering each of the things. For example, in English paper, uh, I used to take around 15-20 minutes, keep 15-20 minutes for grammar part, approximately 20 to half an hour, for 20 minutes to half an hour for reading comprehension, and 20 to half an hour each for this letter and report writing, and approximately 40 minutes for precise writing, and 1 hour for essay writing. So just divide your time accordingly. These are my approximations. It may vary. So just divide your time accordingly, because we are time management is important in these two papers, and in GK paper also there are many number of questions. If you look at it, there are 20 questions in civils, but there are more number of questions in GK paper. So adjust your time accordingly. I mean, you have to give a bit lesser time to each question in GK paper compared to what you used to give in GS paper of civils, because there are more number of questions here. So and look at the number of pages actually. I mean, this thing I cannot emphasize enough. In not only in English and GK, they play with this space wala thing in all the papers. In forestry also they'll do this thing. So before answering a question, just see how much space is given. Uh, and this is for GK and SA. Any other specific thing Durga, you want me to address in these two papers? Any
That,
additional things?
that was very comprehensive, sir. In fact, what I had thought to ask in some parts, you have answered it all. In fact, I would also like to say something about this page thing, which I myself faced in Forest Mains this time, because I had not counted the pages in forestry while I was writing. And suddenly I thought there are 3 pages, because in some 15 or 20 markers they were giving 3 pages, and in some same mark question they are giving less pages.
Yes, yes.
I wrote full 2 pages, and then I turned back to see. Then there is another question. So somewhere I just wrote 5 trees name in small area what I've seen in micro size. So this is something that you have emphasized, that is really, really, really very important for all the aspirants. So one query that I have with respect to general English and knowledge, general knowledge. So do the quality of answer writing that we do for civils, like for example,
Mm-hmm.
question about polity or about
Mm-hmm.
history. So the
Mm-hmm.
type of answer writing that we do, like we put a lot of value additions, committees, recommendations, and all those things. So should we do something same in the same manner over here, or we can do some laxity? I'm just asking it over here.
See, yeah. As a general, what do you know? What do you say? General thing, you should always give your best, write your best. If you know committees, if you know article sections, why not write it? I mean, it's always good to maximize your marks. It never hurts. And if not, also it's totally fine. But no, just I in the previous attempt I got stuck in 2 3 questions, and I think it should not be done. If these things will come later. I think general advices and all. But I think, yeah, if it works, then just write like GS paper or in GK also. Just write like GS paper. Some like toppers, they say ki you should write more technical or technical type conclusion, like how but it's a personal choice. I think writing like GS papers will help intro, body, conclusion, and only those things I mentioned. I personally think that these are the changes one can make in the strategy for GK.
And some things that I had done this time in GS and GK especially, is that for every question where there was some scope for writing about environment, like
Mm-hmm.
if they're asking something about fundamental right or something,
Mm-hmm.
if some social question or something, where there are some scopes for putting something about environment, because I thought this is again exam of IFS, not
Right.
so I did that. So that is fine. Na? It is
Yeah, that is totally fine. Yes, yes. Some toppers do recommend that, and it's totally fine because you're writing Forest Service GK paper, so it's totally fine if you connect those questions which are asked with. That's a really good strategy, I think, and I don't know if it's possible to write in all the questions, but if it's possible, then one can definitely write that kind of application in conclusion, or a separate heading like application in environment or something. Yes, that's a good strategy.
uh, but we should not overdo it. Like for
Yeah,
example,
we should not overdo it like
yes,
zabardasti. You're trying to connect something. It should feel natural.
feel natural. Yes, organic.
Yes.
Definitely. So there is another question that is general as such, that is there any scope for intro and conclusion in 10 markers? Because as you said, there are only 125 words. We are writing less. So should
Hmm.
we write intro and conclusion over there?
Uh, mm, hmm.
Means,
If you feel, I mean, why not? Why
fine.
not? Just a short intro and conclusion. If they're asking, like for Ashoka, I remember I used to write this quote of H.G. Wells, which was also written in this the 11th class Tamil Nadu board. In I can't remember the exact quote. Like in the annals of history, where numerous rulers crowd something, and the name of Ashoka signs like a star, something of that sort. It's there in the 11th class Tamil Nadu. So when I know that Ashoka question will come, and it comes very frequently. This year also, in my year also, I was going through this year's question, this year's paper. It was okay, Ashoka was there in my year also. Ashoka was there, so it's a recurring theme. So yeah, I used to write that quote in the end. So yeah, I used to prepare when you if you have to predict some questions, and if there are recurrent themes, like it's good to prepare conclusions and intros. So as you said, it should all feel organic and not forced one. If there is scope for writing those intro and conclusion, just we should go with it. It's fine. There is nothing wrong with it. It should just feel organic.
Maybe a quick one-liner would add.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, uh, we need to write, bigger intro and conclusion in 15 markers, and a very short one in 10 markers, so that we there to word limit also. And no, I do not know if I mean if it's possible for all or not. But if you just exceed word limits, if you write just fill all the pages, try to fill all the pages for 10 marker. Like I said, two pages for. But so if we if you try to exceed word limit by a huge margin for every question, then I must say GK paper, there is really high chance of high risk of running out of time. So
Definitely.
adhering to word limit is very important.
Definitely. And somewhere, sir, I feel you have decoded the UPSC very well. And somewhere I felt that in one of your, what you say, in handles, somewhere it is written Rani Ashoka. So it's so I feel you have decoded UPSC well, because Ashok is very important in prelims as well.
Yes, 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 yes.
Rani Ashoka, we had a question. In fact, I thought
We had a question. Yes, in
yeah,
2019 prelims paper, I think.
you have so sharp memory about Ashok. I feel.
Because I did that question wrong. That is why I remember it.
Okay, that might have inspired you to keep the name maybe, because
Yeah.
definitely, sir. Sir, I feel for GK and English, it was quite comprehensive. So we will directly go to optional.
Mhm.
So we'll talk about zoology, because this is something that is not that is the road less taken, less traveled.
Mhm. Mhm.
Few of us, and I feel, in fact, I must share with the aspirants as such, because when I met Sir in Mains 2020, I was surprised that a person is taking, what you say, color pencils over to the examination hall, and I asked, we will come to that question as well. But I feel this is the sheer amount of dedication and conviction required for this paper as such, because it is an opportunity for artistic beauty also. So somewhere, sir, at the zoology, we have an aspirant who has asked, sir, like, can static things like definition, etc., can be used for intro and conclusion in zoology?
Yes, 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 definitely. And I think it should be actively done also, because for a static subject like zoology, it will give you an edge. No, answering, addressing the question is that should come first. But you can make it a bit static. For example, if the structure of antibody comes, so you can write why in news because of you know plasma therapy
Okay.
um, in COVID situations.
Yes.
You know, it was in news for that antibody. So that is why maybe the question was asked. So that is how we can link those static thing with dynamic thing, and it does give think from examiner's perspective. He reads something like he or she reads something like that, and they think, oh, this is something new. And for example, some worm like ascaris or something, the life history or something will come. So we can write, um, you know. National Deworming Day. I wrote in one of the National Deworming Day was celebrated on February 10th, I think. So something somewhere I mentioned this thing. So you use your current affairs knowledge in zoology paper. What's wrong in that? I mean, it's really good, and we can quote data also. For example, if a question on AIDS is asked, they usually ask the pathology of AIDS, HIV virus. Sorry. So you can write how many AIDS patients are there in the world in India. You can write in the intro. and why we should study these life cycles, why we should study. We can write in conclusion also, why we need to know this life cycle so that we can develop drugs which target different part of the life cycle and develop vaccines also. These are the things which I personally tried to incorporate, make that static thing a little bit of dynamic touch to that static subject. And it's interesting also when you can think of something dynamic. So it's interesting. Sometimes it does get boring when you read the static things again and again. So it this is one thing which I believe that yes, if it's possible, just give us dynamic touch through figures, through either any current affairs which you can think of, facts and figures you can quote, or any recent development which has happened in the in that field. So these are the things. For example, if malaria comes, you can say you can make a diagram. These are the malaria prone area of India, or you can say a new vaccine called RTSS ASO1 has been developed by WHO. Write anything which is the which which you feel is relevant and feel organic, like in the, it should not break the flow of the question, and the addressing the question is of utmost important. Do that, and these things are secondary, and it will give you an edge. Not that only these things will needed, but these things does give an edge after, provided you have addressed the basic requirement of the question.
Okay. This is
And
something.
regarding that color pen, this thing I first noticed when I was fortunate to be seated near one of my school seniors who is now an IAS officer. He got 40 something rank. Subhankar Mahapatra sir. His optional was medical science, I think. So first I saw him doing drawing with those crayons in medical science paper probably. So I was like really fascinated. Oh, this is something which can be done in zoology also, and this is actually appreciated because here also in IGNFA there is a subject called elementary biology. In that, sir tells if you color the paper diagram, then I'll give you more marks. He encourages. So that I did not know at that time. I took it from Subhankar sir, and I really started noticing significant increase in marks when I started using color pen. It breaks the monotony. It's visually more appealing, and it's only natural that you should maximize whatever is possible at your disposal. You just have to maximize your marks. So as give an edge. It will give an edge to you. So yes, actually, I did not use color pencil because to be honest, I'm not good at drawing. I mean, sometimes I used to think why I took zoology when I'm not good at drawing. But because now I've cleared the paper, I think you do not necessarily have to be a great artist to take up zoology optional. I used to take crayons actually.
Okay.
I used to do drawing by pen only, and I used to fill the colors with crayons. In crayons, actually, you can color very fast. I used to keep 5 minutes for in the end for coloring. Last 5 minutes, I'll just take out three four colors from my from the crayon box, and I used to just color. Just in the flow, in the last 5 minutes, I'll color all the diagrams. And just for zoology, there is one more important thing. Diagrams are must. Diagrams are an integral part of zoology paper. So in every question, at least one diagram is a must, at least. And the more diagrams you draw, the more marks you'll get. That is for sure. And if you can color it, then much better.
You have answered the very next question that I wanted to ask. How do you manage the time? So definitely we have got our answer. So this brings us to me to another question. Sir, can we use colored pencils
And
in?
one more thing, actually, I use colors in forestry paper also. I use colors in.
So we can use it in other optionals as well,
Yes,
because
we can use in forestry paper also. I have used in forestry paper also.
this is something really enlightening to me as well. Because definitely that would play, because in forestry at least we have the green pencil that we can use, green and
Yes, yes.
brown.
Just take out the green crayons, and there are many questions in many questions you can use that green. So yeah, just make the examiner happy. That's it.
Why I didn't ask you this question before writing the main.
It's okay. Anyways, you cleared it, so it doesn't matter.
But it gives the utmost satisfaction, no, when you come out of the hall and you think, okay,
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah,
that
it boosts your confidence even in the exam hall also, and it boosts your confidence for the next paper also. Yeah, you feel good about yourself. Yeah, I have
yes,
used color pen. I have done something different in the exam. It's good. It's good. More than getting more marks, it's like self satisfaction. You are satisfied. Okay, okay. I've done something different in the paper.
yeah, because this time in my state PCS also there was a question on forest fire. When you say the
Hmm.
color, the first question came to my mind, forest fire. Lot of pencils, lot of creativity rather than boring pen diagrams.
Yeah, I mean, these are just add-ons.
Yes, yes, yes. They should not be compromised with the
No,
answer
no.
completion.
These are just add-ons, and in the end, if you have time, do it.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's totally fine also.
So we can use other options as well, like
Yes,
geology and
yes, yes, yes. I believe we can. In optional papers, I think coloring is allowed. At least
it's
that's why I'm here.
so I would extrapolate it also to civils as well, because I had seen you in
Yes,
civil.
yes, 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 and yes, and as I gave the, I mean, in civils also, I got really good marks after I started coloring my zoology papers.
Definitely, sir. This will help the aspirants in very little investment, but a lot of returns. Uh, so this comes to the question that we have from zoology aspirants, that is there any way to evaluate the answers, and then how do we self-evaluate? If not, and how do we go on with evaluation?
One positive thing about zoology, it's quite static.
Okay,
There are questions and they are static, and you can evaluate your own answers also. Like, because there is not, it's an objective paper. If this questions comes, you have to write this thing. No,
okay,
if there is a, like, for example, I'll again give the example of antibody, structure of antibody. There is only one structure of antibody. The point is whether you can write and properly label, draw the diagram, label it, and explain different types of antibodies in the given amount of time within 10 minutes or so. That is the thing, whether you can do that or not. So in most of the zoology questions are static. So there is
okay,
only one answer for that.
okay,
But you have to prepare it well. Prepare good answers for each of the questions. Go through previous year questions, 5 6 year questions. I used to prepare questions of from both civils and forestry, forest service zoology papers. So that gives me around a big question bank if I go through both civils and forest service questions. So it gives a huge question bank, and if you will see that many questions are repeated. Many questions will be repeated, and the challenge is to finish the paper on time and write quality very concisely. I mean, I have seen few papers, because there is so much to write. These are, each question is in itself a research topic. So to write very concisely, for example, life cycle of malaria, it's like a study in itself, but you have to write it in 3 pages max with diagrams and all. So that is a challenge. That thing I also faced. I used to overwrite. There is so much to write. What to write, what not to write. That is a challenge in zoology.
okay.
To write very concisely and put in maximum with little words, with diagrams, explain as much as possible through diagrams, and prepare very concise, very nice answers for each of the topics. Previous year questions they repeated, and yeah, that is the thing I think which should help.
Okay. So there are, I would say there are not many scopes for any peer evaluation on all.
Peer,
Rather we
if
do
yes,
evaluate.
I believe in zoology there is not much need of peer evaluation. Uh, in zoology also we should write intro body conclusion,
Okay.
as I had mentioned.
Mhm.
And there is huge scope also to write intro body conclusion, and
Okay.
diagrams are a must. Coloring if possible, do it. And uh, what else? Any recent development in that area, if you can write, these are all intro things. Intro, it can be it can be anything, like who discovered it, what are the recent development, why it was in news recently. So these are the things which can be mentioned in intro to make it um, uh, you know current, dynamic, the paper dynamic. And peer evaluation, if you want, actually I joined test series of evolution
Okay.
for, but I mean, I don't know, it's a personal choice. If you believe that it's I did not have any peer review group. The problem is zoology optional, as you had mentioned in the beginning, is there are very few students, so the peer evaluation is a bit difficult. And and if you go to your subject teachers, as any school in university, they would evaluate from other perspective, I feel. UPSC requires some other things, and they would expect, they would say, why would you write current things, why would you write COVID plasma, but UPSC has a bit different requirement. Um, what is there, what is the requirement of college papers, so that is there. So yeah. uh,
Uh, Hello,
uh,
sir. Ah. So basically, after that, the queries that I have is, would you recommend some sources, or are the test series mandatory for the zoology, and about all the sources and all?
um, to be honest, I prefer to evolution IS notes and internet extensively
Okay.
for zoology, because there are huge number of sources, and there are really good YouTube channels also for zoology. For example, uh, I mean, go through YouTube channels also. Um,
Okay.
I mean, some related to some are there for medical students. So there are some YouTube channels which can help in zoology paper also, which are for medical students. Uh,
Okay.
so using the internet extensively. I use the internet extensively for preparing. Just prepare a 20 marker for each of the topic, which is there in each of the topic which has come in UPSC and Forest Service, both you see UPSC Civils and Forest Service. Prepare a 20 marker, because that is the maximum marks that will come in the
Okay.
exam.
So
So either you can go through. I referred evolution IS also. I notes also. I referred internet also, and I think YouTube is a very good source. I mean, there are
okay.
wonderful teachers, because medical science is a very there is huge demand for topics on medical science. So there are very really good teachers on YouTube related to zoology. You can find uh, related to zoology topics.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Uh, sir, so mostly, as I can find out, so internet has played a lot of role in
Yes,
it,
yes,
and you would refer to looking into the syllabus and PYQs and prepare at most 20 answers for 20 markers, and that would
yes,
do the job.
yes, yes, yes.
Uh, sir, one request I would have, sir, can you please switch off your video and make it on again, because I think it is stuck. Your audio is clear, but the video is stuck. Are you able to hear me, sir?
Yes, is it fine now or it's still stuck?
Uh, it's still stuck. I don't know because I am here having connectivity, but I don't know. Okay, no, it's still stuck. Okay, but it is clear. Yeah, yeah. So
Your video looks fine. I'm stuck.
oh, it's stuck now, sir.
No,
Uh,
it's your video is clear.
yeah. Okay, okay. And now I can see your face, sir. Now I can see your handsome face. Hello.
Yes, 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 Durga, go ahead.
Yeah. Definitely, sir. So this is what I wanted to ask about zoology. Now we will go to forestry. It is the road most taken. While
Hmm.
geology is less,
Yes.
forestry is most taken. So, sir, the first question that is there in the aspirant's mind, we are having a lot of opinions in the market. So, what do you feel about it? That the choice of question. So many opine that you should attempt more questions from section A than section B, because section B is mostly generalistic, and while equalization and all those things, it tends to suffer. What is your opinion, sir, about it?
My opinion is yes, that is actually my experience also. That we should attempt more objective questions rather than the subjective ones. For example, section A, I'm not sure about which paper, but for my personal opinion is paper 2, section A, which includes those portions like forest management, forest mensuration. These are the portions which are highly scoring because they're
Okay.
very objective. Like they will ask about, Smithy's formula of simplification, or sorry, it was something else. I'm sorry, but the point is yield calculation. I need to read it because it's there in my training also. But
Thing was there. Von Mentel's formula something. So it's
Sorry, von Mendel's formula is there. Smithy's safeguarding formula is there. Brandis diameter
yeah.
formula is there, and the last time French formula something came. In my year, in 2019, there was a question on yield calculation. So these
Okay.
are some of the questions um, which will fetch you really good marks, uh, because the point is they are very objective question. There is only one formula. Huh. So so
Yes, sir.
so you just need to write what is there, and you'll get there is no subjectivity in that. If you write it correct, you will get the marks. There is a risk involved. You need to write it correctly, but if you write, you'll get good marks. And the it's not that difficult. I used to fear because to be honest, I am really not good at maths. So, and those formulas wala thing, it used to scare me in the beginning. But in my last two attempts, in wherein my forestry marks were among the highest, I used to attempt more questions from paper two, part A. As far as I remember, we need to attempt three questions, I think, from from section A and section B. At least one. So I used
Uh,
to attempt two questions from part in paper two. I'm talking. I'm in paper one. You can choose any of the three, but preferably things which are objective. Uh, for example, in 2020 attempt, In paper 1 also, in there was a question like in for each I can't remember the question. It wrote about, write the name of the trees based on, I think, soil conditions which grow in a particular soil condition or something. So it's easy, right? Write 5 trees from this area, five trees about this. You know, you just write those. It'll save you, first, it'll save your time also. You just need to write the name of
Yes.
the trees properly, and second, it'll fetch you marks. Like if they say write 10 plants, you just write 10 plants. And why would they reduce your marks if you write all the 10 plants correctly? So yeah, so these are the questions which catch my eye in the question paper. Like where there are written write 10 trees, because I had um, uh, I had marked up really nearly name of 30 or 40 trees. So that is a so, and I used to sprinkle them generously. So I used to look for area questions where are they writing, which question has this write 10 trees, or in paper 2 they are write name of 10 medicinal plants. These are the questions I usually ask, and just write the name. So objective questions, focus on objective questions more. And if you can write them, then you'll really get good marks. And in paper 2, yes, because paper 2 part section A has more number of objective questions related to this forest management and mensuration, where you just need to write those formulas or data, and write the steps. How this method, in this method, what are the steps, how would you calculate yield or something? These are the steps. Just need to write those formulas, those steps, and you'll get good marks, rather than like these analytical questions. So yeah, that's true. Objective questions, try to attend more number of objective questions.
Definitely. That should be the formula. In fact, the best word that I found is you used to sprinkle them generously. The word generously is very important over here. So that brings us to the next question, sir. What are the tips that you give to forestry aspirants to increase the marks with the same level of knowledge? Because at the end, we are very generalist.
Hmm.
So say that how can we increase the marks with the same level of knowledge?
Yeah, that actually should is applicable for entire preparation phase. Like with we have to do smart work with less hard work. We have to maximize our output. So there are 3-4 things which are needed in forestry questions. First is this, what I mentioned, this scientific name. Remember this name of 30, approximately 30 common trees like Tectona grande, Shorea robusta, Dalbergiasis. Like, remember 20 to 30 scientific name of plants. And first is that, and try to, as I mentioned, as you rightly notice, also sprinkle them generously. There are a few things which you need to put it as much as possible. First is scientific name. Second is examples. For example, they'll ask agroforest benefits of agroforestry, right? Khejri plant has improved productivity in Haryana and Punjab. So give examples. Uh, or there are give examples from as much as possible. Second is example. Third is using terms, using forestry related terms, uh, like instead of writing increasing nitrogen content, write nitrogen fixation or something related to use scientific terms as much as possible. So these things will help you maximize the marks, rather than see, forestry is one of the papers where there is huge scope to write a very general answer, and you can still get away with it, and you can get average marks. It's very easy to get average marks in forestry. But if you want that extra marks, if you and forestry is actually a very scoring subject, and it's quite easy to get edge over others in forestry. because there is a tendency to write generalistic answer in forestry. But if you go that extra mile, you will get really good marks compared to others in forestry. So these are few things, and uh, first is example, second is I had noted it somewhere. Yeah, examples and diagrams also. In forestry, diagrams are also important. Uh, for example, there are I used to remember those tree in paper one. They'll ask about trees and all. Silviculture characteristics, phenology, uses of these trees. Some common trees like the Albergia shishu or casuarina or something they'll ask. So there is a table in forestry, Manikandan and Prabhu, and in silviculture of trees or something, the chapter silviculture of trees. And you do not need to go through all the trees. It's virtually, at least it's difficult for me to remember. So at least some important trees, if you can remember, then and I whenever I used to study about some tree, I used to open its images and see how its leaf looks like, how its fruits look like, and how is the tree shape. And I remember in my year, the question was on Dalberg's issue. I think I drew the leaf, or how the fruit looks like. The fruits are really unique for each tree. So yeah, and I colored them also. So yeah, diagrams are really important in each of the here also same thing in forestry. As much as possible, draw diagrams and give examples, and terms, silviculture related terms, and um, tree names. And one more thing, yes, very important thing. Manikandan and Prabhu, you all might have known that this is like the Bible to clear IFoS paper, forestry paper. So read it as much as possible. And if you are thorough with this book, you will surely get above average marks. Be assured. And one more, so here I want to mention is the content page. Mug up all the topics. There are, I have the older version. There are 25 topics here. So mug up all the topics and make cross connections while writing the answer. That will give you more content. No, while writing about agroforestry, mention terms like yield, or mention terms like something, from forest management. You can pick up terms, pick up ideas, progressive yield, sustained yield. These are the terms which you can pick up from forest management chapter, while addressing questions on agroforestry. These are some of the examples. Make cross topic connections. In one question, you can you first of all, making cross topic connections will make a good impression on the examiner. Second is, you will always have content. If you have, you have 25 topics in your mind, 25 chapters, there is something you can pick from every chapter which you can write in a particular question. So this will actually help, and you will never be out of ideas to write in the paper. And there is some specific things about each chapter which you can include in your answers, and this will really help, I believe.
I feel this is the pestle for forestry, maybe the pestle approach that we use for GS. This is the maybe the for forestry, and
Yes,
something that amazes me that what I can make out of the conversation, that you are still having the Manikandan book with you.
yes, I still have. I for we have exams here at IGNFA, and many overlapping topics also, which I read during preparation. So they're like silviculture and all we study here. So I read from this book.
That's really nice, sir. And something, sir, I had written something like I had remembered only one or two names. Somewhere I had come across the word like there is one revered figure like Padma Shri Sundaram Verma. He is a research and dry land agroforestry. So I had
Mhm.
them here and there. So we can do these all things, na,
Yes,
like
yes,
something
yes, yes,
to the things which could make the
yes,
answer very unique.
yes, yes, definitely. Uh, uh, I'll share one PDF with you of my notes, which were in addition to this, because I also realized to have an edge, I need to do more than Manikandan. But Manikandan is necessary. First, you have to read that book. Then after that, you can make some more additions. So I realized my marks are stagnating in forestry. I needed that edge. So I used to go through some research papers, and I used to write there something something this et al 2002 in the bracket I'll write. So
Oh,
some research, quoting some research paper, even if it, you know to be honest, nobody is going to check. Also, you can something you can write to make the examiner have that impression that you have read something, you have gone that extra mile.
yes.
So and for definition also, I used to take official definitions. There are some definitions which will come, which will repeatedly will be used, like afforestation. What is afforestation? What is wood? No, definitely, which will be you will be requiring in your answers. Deforestation, afforestation, reforestation. What is silviculture? What is silviculture system? So for this, I had picked up uh, definitions from different sites. For example, FAO definition I had for agroforestry, for mangrove, and for wood I had definition from ITTO, International Tropical Timber Organization. According to the definition of wood is this. So for those extra few marks, I used to do these things. Writing official definition actually helps. According to FAO, deforestation means planting trees where no tree existed before. Something of that sort is the definition. So yeah, these things will help. Just write according to FAO, according to if it's tree, right, ITTO. These are some of the few extra tips which will be helpful. And here also there are favorite. I like read Manikandan. I mean, it's like Bible. Read it as much as possible, and quote research papers if possible, or even current affairs. For example, in working plan, I remember I quoted in the conclusion of working plan. I quoted that the preamble of working plan can be a guiding light the preamble of National Working Plan Code 2014 can act as a guiding light for preparation of working state-wise working plans, and some best practices, inclusion of inclusion of climate change in working plan as has been done by Uttarakhand will be helpful. Something of that sort. Best practices also. Yes, this thing I was missing. Best practices also. What are forestry best practices? For example, if question comes logging, you can write about reduced impact logging, RIL. There is something called RIL, which has been followed by European countries. So you can, if something on logging comes, you can write in the end best practice reduced impact logging followed by European nation something. So these things also help.
That makes obvious, sir, why you got very high marks in forestry. Definitely, sir. I feel this is something that even makes me motivated now. Can I appear again to implement all those things? Definitely, sir. This is really enlightening. So almost we have discussed everything about forestry that can be done. Last part, sir. Books and notes. What would you refer? Because what I have made out, Manikandan is the Bible. Manikandan is
Yes.
something that will stay with you even
Yes.
after clear the
Yes,
exam.
yes. Even after clearing the exam, I still have Manikandan book with me. I still study it for my papers in during this training also. So yes, that book is evergreen. That book is Bible, and that is helpful. Mm, Apart from that, I would say any go through previous year questions. The themes are highly recurrent, and majority of the questions can be solved from Manikandan. But there are some questions which are favorite of UPSC, but they are not in Manikandan, like provenance trial. There are some few other things like Bentham and Hooker classification. As far as I can remember, there are some things which are Shelford law of tolerance. Some questions which have come repeatedly in forestry, but they are not. You can you can easily find them over the internet. So
Sir, there is another thing, like many ask, can we selectively refer from, there is another book, L.S. Khanna, if I'm not wrong. The silviculture part is good over there. So what do you suggest?
see, given that if I'm assuming that you have only 2 months gap between civils mains and forest mains, then reading from L.S. Khanna, if you have already if you are already thorough with Manikandan Prabhu, yes, you can refer for selectively refer.
Definitely.
Then again, the term is selectively.
Yes.
Keeping the previous year questions in mind. Otherwise, like it's a book for professional foresters. So,
Yeah.
so keeping the previous year question in mind, and if you have already completed thoroughly Manikandan and Prabhu, so you can selectively go for L.S. Khanna. And I think there is one more book which there is a book called on forest management by Prakash Ram. I think I'm forgetting the author, which actually it actually helped. Let me have check.
So like generously here the keyword is selectively.
Selectively, yes. Selectively. But first Manikandan. Then other things come later, and that too selectively keeping in mind previous year question, because that is really important. Otherwise, you'll be lost in those vast source of resources. There is no in I went to this FRI library, and for each chapter of Manikandan, they have whole section.
Beautiful.
They have whole section. I mean, there are hundreds of books on wood technology. There are hundreds of books on silviculture. Like you'll be lost. So, but these are standard books. Like L.S. Khanna and this Khanna and Chaturvedi. The book name is, I think, Khanna and this book is Prakash Ram Prakash, I think. Forest management, Ram Prakash, PDF is there. Because forest management is a bit tricky and highly scoring, but tricky. In the first glance, it will feel like so much formulas, maths, this, that. So if you can be thorough about that chapter, it will really help you in scoring good marks in forestry. So if you cannot understand few things in Manikandan, you should go through that Prakash Ram book. That is really good. Ram Prakash, Forest Management by Ram Prakash. PDF is available online. So I selectively read from that book, and it's really good.
So what I can make out is risk hai to isk hai in forest management.
Yes.
And Manikandan is the Jivan Maran Sukh Dukh ka Sathi.
Manikandan, yes. And even if you qualify, it will stay with you. This book And I even think that I don't know, maybe when I go in the field, I'll still carry this book.
Definitely. Maybe, definitely. In fact, no forest enthusiast or qualified aspirant, I feel, could say that they hadn't referred to this thing.
Yes, 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 yes.
But the last thing for any optional, so again for forestry, should we take test series or not? And for any other optional like such, so if you are taking, then how much? Is test series mandatory? If yes, then how much?
I believe it's not.
Okay.
Again, I will suggest the same, because first of all, there is usually dearth of time for forest means. And second, here also things are objective. Just prepare mentally, or write somewhere, or prepare mentally. Like even this suggestion has been given by many previous toppers also. Go through previous year questions. They are given at the end of each chapter of Manikandan also, and you can find it over online. Go through previous year questions. Prepare mental answers, like what I'll write in. And yes, as you mentioned, you in forestry paper, UPSC plays a lot with those spaces wala thing. So for each question, don't assume that you'll have this much page. First, see how many blank pages are given, and then start writing accordingly.
Definitely.
And test series is not a must. If you have time, you can write. It's totally fine. But I do not feel, given the time constraint and given the nature of paper, not a must in my opinion.
Yeah. So in fact, in during my stage also, I didn't refer to any test series. In fact, given the depth of time, maybe I felt that revising is much more important than writing
Yes,
full
yes,
three
yes.
hours
And yes, revision should be given more importance. And referring to previous year questions, yes,
is much more important.
much more important.
So I feel, sir, we have discussed everything about forest and forest services. Now some questions, like the personal questions, I says, not personal, but these things that every student has when they prepare. How did you keep yourself motivated throughout this phase?
Uh, there were times when I was about to give up. There were times I used to say to myself that why did I leave my job in private sector? I mean, if you when you face repeated failures, you start doubting yourself. This is not for me. I took a wrong decision, and you are just on the verge of giving up, and you have the pressure increases with each attempt, each failure. The pressure increases from outside, from your side also. So I always say to myself as well as to people who ask this thing, that follow this principle of nishkam karma. I mean, कर्म करते चलो फल की चिंता मत करो. This outcome based uh, mindset, it gives a lot of pressure that I have to do or die. Just enjoy the process, enjoy doing it, and enjoy drawing, enjoy writing something new in the paper, enjoy coloring something. I mean, just enjoy, try enjoying the process. अगर आ ही गए हो प्रोसेस में, तो रो के प्रिपेयर करने का क्या फायदा? It's better if you have chosen this, start enjoying it, and you will. I mean, it will really help in keeping the momentum going, keeping yourself motivated, and doing well in the exam also. Just uh, do your best. Forget about the result. Whatever will happen, it's not in your hands. You know, just keep that nishkama karma principle in mind. It helped me, and I hope it will help aspirants also.
Definitely.
And there are times when you feel like giving up, and yeah, there will be times when you feel like self criticism, and even smallest of things will demotivate you. You feel like, oh, I cannot recall anything. I'm studying, but nothing is going into my head.
Yes, yes.
So these things happens with everyone. People who every aspirant, I think, faces these things. We just have to do some positive self talk, enjoy the process, be process oriented, don't worry about the result.
Definitely. In fact, this is the same thing that you had also said to me during the mains. So it's something that just I wanted to have it from the horse mouth itself to other candidates as well. So number two thing, in fact, this is also been answered. This one, that how did you face your fears and failures? Maybe when you are cutting short of the expectations and desires, maybe that is also answered. Is there anything more that you would like to add, sir? How did you face your fears and failures? Because what I felt, because I remember, I remember one very instance, because the day when you had cleared, in fact, after that, I had talked to you and you had said, I said, sir, you are so humble and down to earth. You had said one line that UPSC humble bana deti hai. So, so you definitely, it would have been, there are some fears and some failures. So apart from Niskam Karma, is there anything that you would like to say, sir?
uh, to be honest, I had been an average student all my life, in school also, in college also. So there are some misconceptions which you start having, and before starting the preparation and after the preparation also. Like before the preparation, we have this misconception that we need we need to be a very successful student throughout our life to clear this exam. So in that matter, UPSC is a great leveler also. Your past doesn't matter. Whatever you did before, it doesn't matter. Whatever you do now matters. Whatever you do in this period,
Yes,
whatever you do in prelims, mains, interview, how do you perform? Only that matters.
yes, yes,
So in that way, UPSC is a great leveler. And a second thing is, we should learn from our failures rather than getting demotivated. That it is not for me. We should focus. We actually, when we fail, we start cursing ourselves. I should not have done this. I should not have done that. So there are so many should not have. But it's more important to learn from our mistakes. Okay, how can I improve? Okay, this is where I'm lacking. So let me try. Okay, my diagrams are bad. Okay, let me try to color them. Let me try to compensate through coloring. I mean, these are the things. Uh, so be having a progressive mindset, growth mindset. Let me do something different today. I mean, how can I improve? How can I improve? And actually, this one more thing I would like to say, that it's not it, actually in UPSC. You learn so many things which actually life lessons which will help you after you get selected also, and even if you do not get selected, this the life lessons which you learn during this phase will be carried forward after this journey is over, UPSC journey. So yes, so here also these things, um, many things which I had inhibitions, which I never did before. I'm trying these things now during training also. So so yes, keeping these are few things which I believe help me, and I hope it will help the aspirants also. Having a positive, it's okay. There is, no, think the worst that can happen. I used to say to myself, what if it's fine even if I don't get selected. It's totally fine. What is the worst that can happen? I won't get selected. It's fine. It's fine. That anxiety. If I don't get selected, then what? I'm preparing so much. Then what? I do not get selected. It's fine. And actually there is a vicious cycle also. We start feeling anxious. We start freaking out, and we freak out about why we are freaking out. Why am I anxious? Why am I freaking out? So, and that cycle continues. Then again, that makes us more anxious. So, having that, accepting our feelings. It's fine if I'm freaking out. It's totally fine. It's fine if I'm anxious. If it's fine if I have fear in me. It's totally fine. So, accepting our feelings, it helps manage, cope up with those stress and anxiety.
Acceptance is the key. And maybe
Acceptance
what
is self
uh,
acceptance. It's okay. It's totally fine.
all is well. All is
All
well.
good. Yeah.
And definitely what you said in the first instance also, that is like the word that I can remember is Apda mein avsar. In
Uh,
failure, try to search for
yeah.
opportunity. Because
Yes.
what is
Yes. 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 I mean, as in every failure is an opportunity to learn. I think
definitely
either we can get demotivated or we can learn. So it's up to us how we perceive the failures. And nothing is. I mean, there is one more thing which I did was to make this journey my life, this exam my life. This is just a part of life. Life is much bigger than UPSC and all. I know. I mean, people may say after getting selected, yes, it's easy to say, but even before I got selected, I used to keep saying this to myself to keep myself calm during this test period, that it's fine. It's just a part of life. It's just an exam like any other exam. So it's fine. Just just let's give it with all we have, and जो होगा देखा जाएगा.
hoga dekha jayega. And you sir beautifully explained it with the example that you gave, that the positive attitude, like when you are not very good at drawing, try to compensate it with crayon. This
Yes, yes, yes.
this is something that is like the best use of it. I feel that the aspirants who are watching over it, I feel the crayon would be a very good takeover that they will,
This
apart
is
from the
just an exam.
philosophical aspect that it carries with it.
Yes.
Sir, last two questions. Uh,
Uh-huh.
maybe you are getting late for your
No, no, it's fine. It's always pleasure interacting with you, Durga.
definitely, but health is well. So, what was your major learning from the phase of preparation? Because you said you learned a lot of life lessons. Maybe you can share one of the very most important life lesson that you learned during this phase of preparation, the ups and downs, the anxiety of being anxious. What did you learn? What is that one thing?
First is consistency, I think.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, reading, just there are so many, uh, misconceptions, I believe, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. I mean, that we need to study 13, 14, 15 hours to clear this exam. And even I did. I used to count in my watch, oh, I studied for 13 hours, and I used to feel good about myself, even though, I mean, the content that went into my head was absolutely zero. But because I sat in front of that book for 12, 13 hours, I used to derive satisfaction out of that. But it's a misconception. Uh, Study for 7, 8 hours every day consistently, and we should derive satisfaction from what we have learned rather than how many hours we have put in. So that is one thing which I learned. And second thing is having a very stable, calm mind. Sometimes you feel like you are on the top of the world, and sometimes you feel like I have nothing left in my life. So we should
Same.
avoid those extremes and have a stable mindset. Even if you uh, even if something good happens, we should not be extremely happy. See, the higher the high, the lower the low. For me, at least, it is what has happened. So the higher I go when something good happens, the equally low I go when something bad happens. So that stoic philosophy is, I really was went closer to this stoic philosophy, that to be like, calm and composed irrespective of external situation. Everybody uh, reads the same thing. Everybody goes through the same process, but some clear this exam, some don't. There are some things which differ, because everybody reads the same set of books, same sources. So performing under stress,
Mhm.
no, that is something which we develop uh, in this preparation phase. And I think more than me, it's you who can give a better answer, because this is your forte, this is your area, philosophy and all. Like, very few people I have met who are good at philosophy compared to you.
No, sir. No, sir. Definitely, I am learning a lot from you. In fact, I will go through this video maybe number of times, because within every word of yours, there are a lot of, I think, wisdom that is there. That is very much important somewhere. So, absolutely, this is your stage, your forte, this is your life, definitely. The last,
I mean, I used to say to myself, I have to be winner at life. I mean,
yeah.
that is much more important rather than winning in an exam. No.
So, if I would have the opportunity to write another essay, and in fact, if there would be on positive attitude, I will love to write this word. I would love to write this, because and it should be the winner of life, not the winner of any exam.
Yes.
This is something very deep, and it comes only with introspection. On superficial level, it is fine, but because you are the person who have gone through ups and downs, in fact, we all have faced it. We
And
can read.
actually, we are, that is why we should look, at UPSC with that opportunity. We never in our life, maybe, I mean, God forbid it happens, we may not go through this kind of pressure ever again in our
Yeah,
life, maybe.
definitely.
So, this was, I mean, we had, at least I had never gone through that pressure till UPSC preparation, this kind of pressure. So this pressure provided me an opportunity to, to this pressure, when we say that under pressure only beautiful things happen.
Happen. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So either you come out stronger, or you just crumble under it. So, this provided me an opportunity to grow. This UPSC journey provided me an opportunity to grow, and taught me so many things. So I mean, it's not because I got selected in the end. It's like, whether you get selected or not, these lessons which you learn during this phase will help you in your future endeavors in whichever field you are.
And definitely, maybe you are making the meaning out of it, because uh, once you're selected, you are able to know the reality of being beyond that line. And somewhere you realize, because if I will say something to maybe those who are preparing, and I will say नहीं नहीं यार, उसके बाद भी जीवन में यही होता है, वही होता है, बोलेंगे यार तू तो सिलेक्ट हो गया इसलिए बोल रहा है, we
Mm-hmm.
taste of fruit and all. So, but this is something that I find in coherence with every other topper, that we should be the winner of the game, and not the
Yes.
uh, winner of life, and not this mere preparation and all.
Exam is just one part of life. It's
Part of,
not the life, entire life.
yes, 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 definitely. Sir, last question. Any message that you want to give to the aspirants? Uh, Aspirants, what do you want to tell to them? What is that one key takeaway message that you would like to give to the aspirants?
That निष्काम कर्म करते चलो, फल की चिंता मत करो. Just do the best you can. Enjoy what you do. So enjoy it, enjoy the process, give your best, and do not worry about the results. What will happen? What if I fail? What will I? How will I show my face to family, society? Many negative things will come. Just uh, everything will be fine in the end. Just have faith in yourself. Everything will be fine in the end, whether you clear or not. Just enjoy the process as much as possible.
Definitely, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Something that I can remember now.
See, things
Def-
become normal. Things become normal. See, maybe uh, when we get, when you get selected, this becomes your new normal.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, whether you get selected or you in this exam or you go somewhere else, it will become your new normal,
Yes.
and you will learn to live with that, whether it's good or bad or whatever it is. And every job has its pros and cons.
And sir, something that I always tell to any aspirants, because to be very frank, because at the end, at this end of this year, maybe only around 700 or 1100 people will get selected based on these things. Rest, there are out of the 6 lakhs that those who appear, maybe around 5 lakh 90,000, 99,000, the number would not be selected. And this is the blank fact that we must say. But,
Yes.
but somewhere I believe that many times the failures are themselves not the end. Because the best example that I have is of Dr. Because he was the pilot exam and there were only 8 vacancies. And Dr.
Yes.
Kalam and ninth number. I just think that if he would have become pilot that day, then the India would have missed missile man of India and one of the most people loving president.
Yes.
Maybe
Yes.
that's what I want to say to every aspirants who are over there, that maybe this journey itself, and as sir precisely said, the journey is the life itself. This exam is not the
Can I?
journey.
Can I?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. 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 Please continue. Continue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, definitely. You can. I feel
No,
you
no.
have to
It's
attend.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's done now.
So this is something that I say because I took this message from you that at the end, this life is much more beautiful, much more longer, and much more fulfilling than this mere exam.
Yes. 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 And confidence. Having confidence, it helps. When
Yes.
confidence is half the job. I mean, you see people who clear who clear mains or who clear interview. They keep clearing, again and again and again. So because they have the confidence that they'll clear it. So, but yeah, at the same time, overconfidence again is a bad thing. But confidence is very important.
Yes, yes, definitely. And that you have said that enjoying the journey, being the man you are, being the woman you are, and enjoying the journey and having full confidence and giving all the effort that is possible.
Yes.
All things is niskam karma. Yes, yes, yes. So it was really nice interacting with you, sir. And definitely, I would say that I'm very fortunate to have you as my mentor guide, and sometimes as brother, but sometimes I feel as if I'm talking to a friend because those boundaries, because you are so what you say approachable and accessible. I would like to tell to this my aspirants also, to the aspirants also, because whenever I used to call you, I used to take time. I will say, sir, can I, bhai, not sir, bhai, because we both are Odia. So in Odia, we call each other bhai and all. So, bhai, can I call in the night? And the one response bhai always used to give me, Durga, no need to ask, you can directly call. In fact, till today also, I ask him before I can call or not. Only when it is the matter of results that I have to give him some good news, I directly call. Other than that, I ask him whether I can call or not. And in fact, when I was not also selected, he used to say, no need to ask, just call. Something that is really, really very, what you say, it makes him very different. And I would say, we say that a lot of people, that this people is humble, that people is humble. But if you feel you need to know who humble is, please meet.
You are too generous with
And it is
you are
really,
too generous with word, Durga. I mean, I believe why I mean it's you have been through we have been through this journey. We have faced so much. So if we can be of help or be a source of motivation for others, then why not?
Yes, definitely, sir.
We should
Definitely.
not, we I believe we should not, others should not face those kind of hardships or troubles which we as aspirants faced.
So this brings us to the another keyword of the ethics, that is empathy and this thing. Something that everything is related. This UPSC is so all encompassing that everything is related. Thanks again, sir. And in fact, uh, if I will interact with some of the students, if possible, we will have a live session at a later
Yes, yes,
date.
definitely.
They can. And oh, sorry, sir. One last question. Uh, Around 40 days are left for forest
Mm.
mains. What would you suggest to the people? This is the last question.
So, depending upon how much you have prepared, how much, whether you're starting now or you have already completed some part, what I mentioned in this our interaction before, focus on those things, those key points of general knowledge and English and forestry. Just revise Manikandan at least before doing something else. Revise Manikandan multiple times, and zoology also. I mean, uh, just smart study is needed. It's 40 days are more than enough to crack this exam, more than enough.
Definitely.
So uh, it's not if for people who are starting now, it's there is still enough time to clear this exam if you study smartly. And if you need anything, do reach out. We are there. I mean, Durga is taking so much initiative for this.
No, no.
So, I mean, hats off to you, Durga, for even I mean, this is the time when people a honeymoon period for aspirants. I mean, joining a service, given mains exam, but still you are spending your time to guide students, to help them. This is something even. I mean, it's something I need to learn because
Lot of learnings from you, sir, because I've always said, being humble, you must meet Aziz Bhai, because I'll not speak more about it
Durga
because
is very generous with words. Durga is very generous with words.
I only speak after
So
meeting the word.
it's his good quality that he sees good in others.
Nothing like that. But sir, one last question again about the road less traveled zoology. Like
Mm-hmm.
that, discuss that section A in forestry paper 2 should
Mm-hmm.
be, if you know, rather than section B. Does the same rule apply anywhere for zoology? Maybe this is the last question.
Mm, nothing I can think of right now.
Okay,
Uh,
okay,
in zoology, just diagrams
okay.
uh, and coloring if possible, but diagrams are very important. Write a concise answer. Like all those things I've mentioned before, they should help. They
Ah,
should help. Uh, Nothing as such about section, any section, attempting any section, nothing I can think of right now if any section gives an advantage. But what the tips I have given during our conversation, I think those will help.
in fact, in fact, I can remember one that you have said that the questions which are much more objective, they should be
Hmm.
attempted.
Yes. That is true even in zoology. The questions which are much more objective. See, this is true for all optionals, I guess. That questions which others are find it difficult to attempt, but you attempt, will fetch you more marks. I
Okay.
have heard it from my friends from other optional subjects in civil, who are in other services also. In civils also, they took those optional other even in humanities subjects also. The questions which others you feel others will find it difficult, but you are if there will be times when you will know you two questions, each of the questions you will be comfortable with, equally almost equally comfortable with, and you will confused which one to attempt. So in that question, go with the more objective one and go with the question which you believe others will find it difficult to attempt. That will give you an edge in the exam.
Yes, yes. This is with respect to optional.
This is with respect to all
Uh,
optionals.
yes, and I would just add a word of caution because people should not extrapolate it to essay, because we have
Yes.
seen uh, many times people say, okay, this essay is too generalistic. Everyone will write. I will write something out of the world, and they get. So again, a word of caution. This is for
Yes.
option.
Because
For
essay has multiple interpretation. If you interpret in a very different uh, way than the examiner expect you to, then you will not score good in that.
yes, yes, yes. Definitely, sir. Definitely. It was really enlightening. I feel you might miss out your dinner for tonight.
अरे, खाना पीना तो चलता रहेगा. It's always a pleasure interacting with you, Durga. Hopefully we'll meet soon. And if if aspirants want to have any personal queries, which so we can have more sessions like this. If
Definitely,
it's
sir.
helpful for them, if it will benefit them, then
Definitely.
please.
Yes, definitely. So definitely, you were given your virtual license yesterday also. Regarding, and definitely, but one session that I would personally request to you, maybe not, maybe after 2 3 months, we will have regarding prelims, because this
Okay.
is something very important. For
Hmm.
mains, we will inform you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. Yes.
Thank you again, sir. It
Okay,
was
Durga.
so enlightening to talk to you. Thank you
Same,
again.
Durga. Thank you so much for having me, and
No, the pleasure is all mine, and of the
keep doing the great work you are doing. I mean, utilizing your free time, guiding and inspiring students.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That's a very just a minute, sir. Please
Sure,
don't cut. I'll just end the recording and then we'll
sure.
continue.